After some technical difficulties, we are now here.
Are we now so big that we get 3 countdowns?
Well, none of them were live until the last one. That was the problem. I kept pressing live, and none of them were there. So
I finally got to say we had the final countdown. Do.
Yeah, I'm hoping this is not the final countdown. Come on now.
My final countdown ended 11:45 last night while drinking a beer. So
my final countdown is still continuing as I am negotiating this contract, and believe it or not, just got my lease renewal for my apartment. I am not going to look at that while I am on this show, as I'm sure that will upset me. So we'll get through it.
Upset you that the price went up? Upset you that you're still in Atlanta?
Absolutely certain the price went up between 3 and 5%, which means I'm going to fight this a little bit and hope that I can get maybe like a month free. And if you get a month free, well, there's your 3 and 5%. So no big deal.
Words to live by.
Words to live by. So anyway, wow, this has been an interesting couple of weeks. We apologize for not being here last week. Travel took effect. Next week, we'll at least this part of the show will be in Pittsburgh. That part of the show will still be in New Jersey. Heading to the Steelers game, which coincidentally will be the first appearance of Davonte Adams in a Jet uniform. Then going to see Syracuse 5-1 versus Pittsburgh 6-0 on a Thursday night. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Are we sure this isn't basketball?
Well, if
Syracuse hasn't played St. Mary's and Colgate 4 times?
Look, if Syracuse didn't mess up and lose to Stanford, we'd have 2 6-0 teams. And I'm actually quite surprised that Kyle McCord is not getting any Heisman talk. I mean, any Heisman talk. This guy is first in the nation in passing yards, first in the nation in passing percentage, and third in the nation in touchdowns. Now, granted, we've played Holy Cross. We played, what is it? Sisters of the Poor, right? I mean, we played.
Well, that's usually your basketball schedule.
Come on, not recently, but anyway. So I get it, but look, he beats a top 20 team Pitt on a Thursday night. You're going to see some Heisman talk, hopefully. I mean, look, not top 5 Heisman talk, but certainly lower balance.
Wait a second. Okay. You beat Ohio University.
Yes.
Okay, you had a nice win against Georgia Tech.
Yes.
You lost to Stanford.
Yes.
You beat Holy Cross.
Yeah, I told you we beat Holy Cross.
You beat UNLV. Which,
on the road. Wait, UNLV was a top 25 team.
You were number 20, which nobody really knows what UNLV is, let's be honest.
Still a top 25 team on the road.
And you beat the worst UNC team, the worst NC State team in God knows how many years.
But also on the road. Like, the point is, you've gone to your places on the road. And I'm saying if you beat Pitt on the road, that's actually 2 top 25 teams that you've beaten on the road.
Look, I know your dream. Your hope is you end up in the Pinstripe Bowl, so you can go visit either me or your cousin.
No, what are you kidding? That's not my dream. My dream is to wind up in the playoff.
Playoff.
Okay. So let's play this out. Syracuse doesn't lose the rest of the regular season, which means they have to be Pitt on the road, Virginia Tech at home, and in the last game of the season, Miami at home. Okay, which would be, I will tell you, if that Miami game is basically to make the ACC championship game, that place will be nuts.
Fair. I need a 2-minute break, buddy. Sorry, yeah. I apologize.
All right, so that dome will be absolutely nuts. If this is a good time for Seth to take a break, as he generally doesn't like talking about Syracuse anyway. But see, got the smirk. But anyway, if they get to the end of November and they are ready to play a championship caliber team in Miami, which is what Miami would be, right? I mean, no question. Then are you ready, Seth? Are we good? No, we're not good. So if they play Miami in the final, in the last game of the regular season, the ACC championship game, I'm wondering where that is this year. It is December 7th, and I will be here. And it is in, it's in Charlotte. So if Syracuse wins out. Now, A, stranger things have happened. B, I have put a lot of faith, blood, sweat, tears, and money behind Syracuse and been rewarded with absolutely nothing since 2003. If that happens, they will probably face Clemson in the ACC championship game. And look, we know very well that ACC is not getting two teams in this playoff. There's no way. Stranger things have happened where you beat Clemson, you beat Miami and Clemson back-to-back weeks. Miami at home, Clemson in North Carolina. And Seth, you were asking what my dream was? You were asking what my dream was. My dream is Kyle McCord makes top five ballots of the Heisman Trophy, and Syracuse makes the 12-team playoff in a year where they could conceivably make a 12-team playoffs. That's my dream. And then we start with the other dreams that come true, and dreams can come true. It can happen to you. The Mets make the World Series. That's a dream. The Knicks make the finals. Another dream. The Islanders get back to the playoffs and make a run. Another dream. I have lots of dreams. Let's understand this. Lots and lots of dreams. But they all start with Syracuse football. Well, first they start with the Jets on Sunday, where they face off against the Steelers, and then Syracuse football a week from tomorrow in Pitt. I will tell you, one of my dreams was not throwing a third-round pick at Davonte Adams. That was not a dream of mine at all, especially since I saw moments later. Seth, you ready? Yes, no, yes. I think I saw a thumbs up. Are you ready? No, he's not ready. Look at this. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. We can get Seth in and out, in and out. He's busy at work. Moments later, the Browns trade Amari Cooper to Buffalo with no money, right? Whatsoever, $1 million. The Jets, being the Jets, acquire Davonte Adams with $13 million. And Amari Cooper, they pay nothing, and they get him for a fourth-round pick. And the Jets, they get Davonte Adams. I'm sorry. They get the butler of Aaron Rodgers.
Wait, goes what?
Oh, I guess Seth's not ready for a second-round pick. I thought he was ready. Obviously not. A third-round pick that could escalate to a second-round pick. And let's understand what, if it gets to a second-round pick, what has happened. Number one, there are only two ways that this can get to a second-round pick. Number one, he's the starting wide receiver in the AFC Championship game. You know, Davonte Adams is the starting wide receiver in the AFC Championship game.
Sorry about that. Are you still talking about
second-round pick? Take my second-round pick. If right? If Davonte Adams is,
I'm assuming we moved on to the Fresno State wide receiver.
Well, it's my second dream, right? We went to the first dream. First dream is Syracuse makes the playoffs. That's my first dream. I know you laugh, but there is a way this happens.
You run the table. That's it.
Yes.
There's no other way.
So you run the table and you play Miami in the final game and you win the final game. And then you go to Charlotte and you beat Clemson. That's how you do it. That's how you make the playoffs. It's possible. It is 100% possible.
It is 100% possible.
It is unlikely.
And a team that lost to Stanford is going to run 7 games in a row.
Yep. Most of them at home, including Miami at home. VTech is at home. Look, Seth, and look.
Do you think if you run the table and lose to Clemson, do you think with 2 losses you make the playoff?
No chance. Only one team in the AFCC is making the playoff.
Agreed.
So no, you have to run the table. So you're playing Pittsburgh away, top 20 team. You're playing Virginia Tech at home, BC away. I am not concerned about BC. I think your actual trip-up game is at Cal on November 16th, which I'm also going to. But I think that's your trip-up game. Then you have UConn at home, which doesn't matter because they're not an ACC team. And then you go and you play Miami, number 6 overall, at home on November 30th. If you're looking for a schedule where this can happen, this is the schedule in which it can happen. But much like the Jets, if you go to Pittsburgh this week and screw it up, you're done. I mean, if the Jets lose this week, they go to 2-5. They're done. If Syracuse loses this week, they have 2 in-conference losses. There's no way to recover from that to go to the playoff. Certainly, you could go to a good bowl game, but not go to the playoff. You will not be in the championship game against Clemson with 2 losses. Will not happen. But you asked me what my dreams are. It's very easy to understand my dreams. I want a Syracuse football playoff. I want a Jets playoff. I want an Islanders going to the Cup Finals. I want the Knicks to make the NBA Finals. And I want the Mets in the World Series. All those things could potentially happen this year.
Is this 1968 and we're in a time warp?
No, the Islanders didn't exist in 68, so that doesn't happen. And 86, you don't have the Knicks. So I'm trying to think if there is ever a time where all of that happened. In 86, the Jets actually went 10-1 to start the year.
They did. That was the Kenny O'Brien year.
Yep. And then they lost on a field goal in the playoffs.
In overtime to Cleveland, if I remember.
Mark Mosley misses his kick. Pat Leahy comes down, and I'm sitting in the parking lot of Firestone Chicken Barbecue, listening to this game. My mom is telling me to get the hell out, and I'm like, nope, gotta listen. Mark Mosley misses his kick to win in overtime, and we're like,
Pat Leahy, the long time Jet.
Pat Leahy, we have this. No, we don't. Kick wide left, much like Greg Zuerlein this past weekend. Doink, 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 doink. And then Mosley comes back and hits his. And that's the end. Go start at 10-1. 10-1 to start a season to finish 10-7. Ugh.
Was there like when that happened with the Giants in 2008? They were 10-0, and that was when Plaxico shot himself, and that was the precursor.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen,
happened with the Jets.
Ladies and gentlemen, literally shot himself. Like, we're not talking about figuratively. He shot himself in the leg. This is not a team shooting himself in the leg. This is Plaxico. Literally, a gun goes off. He served time for it. He actually shot himself in the leg.
Right.
I don't recall if there was an injury. I don't recall if there was anything that actually went wrong that year. I don't know how they lost.
I'm looking it up on Wikipedia.
I'm looking at now. So Ken O'Brien, dual Thursday night games, week 3, week 4, week 5, 5-1. No, it doesn't say like there was an injury or anything. They just played really, really sloppy for the whole last half of the year. I mean, the rushing attack really got nothing. And then in the Cleveland game, Mark Gastineau gave Cleveland life on a 2nd and 24.
Right, that was the roughing the passer BS.
Yep.
Yeah.
No shock that the Jets screwed themselves, literally shooting themselves in the foot. But, yeah, I mean, look, that's possible. But you can't lose in Pittsburgh this week. That can't happen. You can't go to 2-5 with 3 conference losses. Look, Davonte Adams
he's still very good.
He makes the team better. He does. Hassan Reddick would make the team even better.
Is he traded or did they sign him?
No, neither yet. They gave him an open window to they gave him an open window to explore a trade, which basically said, hey, Drew Rosenhaus, go out, take a look, find out you can't get anything better than what we're giving you, and come on back, and we'll sign you. I mean, that's basically what that is. Redick will be in some camp by week 13, because if he's not, I think it's week 13. It may be week 10, 11. He doesn't get credit for the year, and then he's still tied to the Jets next year, which, whatever. But look, the trade for Adams is good in a vacuum. All I know is that the Jets have now given up their third-round pick this year for for Adams, and their third-round pick next year for Redick.
Yep.
And for a team that does have a lot of, how do I say this, very high-end players at the top, they don't have a tremendous amount of depth. And you don't win surprisingly, you don't win Super Bowls based on first-round picks. You win Super Bowls based on third, fourth, and fifth round. You win
based on the role players.
Your quarterback is generally a first-round pick, unless your name is Tom Brady. But other than that, you need some depth. And the Jets have basically done what the Knicks did in forfeiting all of their depth to appease one guy. And while the Knicks could do that because they only play 5 at a time, the Jets not so much.
Did the Knicks just pick up Alec Burks and TJ Warren?
We did. I'm a big fan of picking up Alec Burks. I thought that was I liked it like 2 years ago. He was the guy, right?
Yeah, I just saw that.
That was this year. Sorry, this year with the pink sneakers.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a little bit preoccupied, but that's a nice pickup for depth, to be perfectly honest.
Right, but I thought he signed at one point with Miami. Like, I didn't understand that. So he signed with Miami. He did on July 3rd, 2024. I don't see anything that he was waived, so I'm not sure how he became a Knick.
And he's not even honest. This isn't even an article on the ESPN New York website.
Yeah, I don't think he's a Knick.
Like I said, something pop up that they became Knicks.
So did I. I don't think that's right. TJ Warren is currently, I think the Knicks announced the signing of TJ Warren to a camp contract. But there's nothing about Alec Burks. Alec Burks was signed. I loved Alec Burks with his pink sneakers, but he went to the Miami Heat. So I'm not sure. Maybe they just confused TJ Warren and Alec Burks. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Look, TJ Warren was a 20-point a game scorer until he started getting hurt. So I mean, if you're looking for somebody to come off the bench. In 2023, I mean, he averaged 15 in 2020, 2021. I mean, that's a long, long time ago. And he's only played 53 games the last 3 seasons. So he fits very well with Karl Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby. I mean, they're perfect for each other. Okay. So we asked that before we move on from the NFL, because we just talked about it for a little bit. As we do on the Seth and Sean Sports Radio Show, we ask Seth one question every week. And the last time we had this discussion, the answer, I believe, was still week 8. So my question to you, sir, again, as I ask you every week, is the Daniel Jones countdown. When will he be bubble wrapped?
I think I want.
You said before last time. You said after the Monday night game in week 8.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm feeling it here.
So we're in week set. We're in week for them. We're in week 7 now. So you're thinking 2 more weeks.
Yeah, at 2 and 6. Assuming, again, it's all predicated. They're playing a struggling Eagles team. who have not looked good all season.
Correct.
I mean, let's be honest, beating the Browns by 4 is not exactly a ringing endorsement for the Sirianni.
Well, beating the Browns by anything is not a ringing endorsement. So
can we call them the Fighting Siriannis? Both
sure.
Literally and figuratively?
We can.
So they play the Eagles and they play a mediocre Steelers team, albeit on the road. If they are 2-6, the problem is then you go into a 2 games. If they win one of those games, they're 3-5.
Mm-hmm.
And then they play the Commanders at home. The Commanders have overachieved, but winnable. They played the Panthers, certainly winnable.
But they play the Panthers in Germany.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a 9:30 game.
Perfect for your perfect for your family.
Ironically, I'll be in Spain.
Oh. So you'll be on local time. So you're good to go. Ironically, great for me. I mean, maybe not for you. Actually, November 10th. Oh, November 10th, I'll be in Arizona. Oh, that's a 6:30 a.m., 7:30 a.m.
You're not waking up for that.
Oh, I'm going to the Jets game that day, so I might wake up for that. We may be tailgating by that point. Anyway, so and then they have a bye.
Yes, and then they have a bye. So it may be after the Panthers.
And that end of the year schedule for them is awful.
Yeah, the whole schedule has been awful.
Well, I mean, once you get past Carolina, you're at home against Tampa Bay, at Dallas, home against New Orleans, home against Baltimore, at Atlanta, home against Indianapolis, and at Philadelphia. You're not going to be favored.
You may be favored.
The only game of those games.
I think you're favored against the Panthers. You may be favored against the Saints, contingent on who's playing. Their whole team is injured at this point.
Sure.
And you would probably be favored against the Colts in a nothing at home in the snow.
Okay.
You're looking at so probably, I think actually I'll stick with week 8 if they don't win one of these 2 games.
Okay.
If they win one, then we go through the Panthers into the bye. I think if they're within 2 games of 500, they keep playing them. I think after that, you call it a day.
So if you're within 2 games of 500, so say you're 5-7 in week 12, is that dependent on who's in first?
Of course.
Okay.
If the Eagles are 9 or 8-4.
Right. The division is out of reach.
The division is out of reach, and you're at least 2 games back in the wild card.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not beating the Ravens. You're probably not going to Atlanta and beating the Falcons.
Nope.
But I mean,
you're not beating this iteration of the Falcons in Atlanta at the end of the year. It's not.
You're not winning in Philly to go to the playoffs. If the Giants need to win a game, if they can get to the Eagles game and still be relevant,
yeah,
then that's one thing. But I was at the game Sunday night. The defense was fantastic.
Without Thibodeau,
they rushed a passer like crazy. Deontay backs, other than one great play by Jamar Chase, Jamar Chase did nothing. T. Higgins had like 6 catches for 60 yards. Okay. Burrow threw for 200 yards. It's fantastic defense. They scored 10 points until the last minute and a half of the game.
Yep.
And even the touchdown was both touchdowns were kind of fluky.
Yep.
Tyrone Tracy looks like a player. I'll be honest. I'm one of the rare Giants, and you know how negative I've been about the Giants the last couple of years. I was kind of encouraged by this game, even though they lost. Because under no circumstances am I under the impression that Daniel Jones is going to be back next year.
Right.
So without your best offensive player, without your best wide receiver, your starting running back, Oh, yeah. Also, Andrew Thomas is out for the year. Yeah. I mean, why? What are you going to do? Like, so Thomas, maybe he was hurt before because it was the worst game he's played in 2 years.
Yep.
So Tracy looked like a player. The line wasn't great, but the line has been pretty decent this year. The defense looked good. And you were missing two of your star receiver and your running back. Now, there are pieces here. But Daniel Jones is not one of the pieces. Daniel Jones will be a long-term backup somewhere. At this point, it's over. You cannot you pay a guy $40 million to win games like the Bengals game and win games like the Cowboys game. You know, this isn't like the Vikings game where they got blown out. These were winnable games at home. You know, you're paying them $40 million. No good. Not good enough. After 6 years, you can only go so far after 6 years.
No, I get that. And yeah, the $40 million is if he was a $20 million quarterback, you'd be keeping him.
Yeah.
It's that simple, right? He is a middle of the road quarterback. He is
at best.
No, look.
He was wonderful 2 years ago.
And with protection, he's wonderful because he is with protection, okay? Who's the best comparison to him? Give me a comp. Somebody. Anybody.
Just going through off the top of my head.
I mean, he's not as good a runner as Justin Fields. That's the guy I was going to put there. Right?
He's pretty close, though.
Is it fair to say
he's a lesser Trevor?
Oh no, Trevor's got a much better arm. So
that's what shocked me is how bad Jones' arm. But you're looking. He's a 6'4", big, strong guy who can move.
Yeah.
So what is your reasonable comparison? He's not Dak.
No, I was going to say he's a lesser Joe Burrow. Actually,
fine. He's a lesser Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
That's we were joking when Burrow ran for the 48-yard touchdown. If it was Daniel Jones, he would have fallen at the 5.
Well, here's the other thing. Is he Jared Goff?
No. Bigger, stronger.
Okay.
Not as accurate.
Okay. And that's where it is, right? It's the accuracy for Daniel Jones as much as it is anything else. He's a running quarterback that's just not a great runner.
No, he's a solid, tough runner, actually.
I'm saying he's just not a great runner, right? You can't make
but he's not supposed to be a great runner. He's
right.
a quarterback.
Yeah.
He's not Lamar. You know, I don't expect him to run like that.
How many are Lamar? I think that's a better
none.
question, right?
Michael Vick. That's your comparison for running.
Yeah. And I even think Lamar is a better runner than Michael Vick ever was.
He was, but
we're
certainly comparable.
Yeah, just a much bigger guy. Okay, it's the top of the hour. We're in playoffs for baseball.
Playoffs?
And we haven't even talked about it at all. First of all, OMG, and OMG.
When did OMG start?
Around August when Jose Iglesias became the Mets second baseman. So he actually started singing this OMG song. And it's pretty catchy. I mean, and then Grimace showed up, and then the Hawk Tua girls showed up. And you know what? Hawk Tua.
Why is that a thing? How has our society gotten this dumb?
Well, did you not see you didn't see the video, right?
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, I get it. I know what it is.
I know you know what it is.
I used to be familiar with it.
Are you claiming you're no longer familiar with it? This is a PG-rated show, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway.
It's when? We don't talk about our dating lives or sex lives anymore?
Lack of my dating life, the lack of my sex life. You may have both.
No, I don't have a dating life.
Well, you do. It's just with your wife.
It's fucking fascinating.
You have date night. You're good.
No, I get laid. That's by my
Love
wife.
you, Carly. Love you, Carly. Anyway.
There you go. She's not, believe me, she's not watching.
No, absolutely not. Okay, so your Yankees go up 2-0. I call them your Yankees for about a month because
Seems about fair.
it's basically between I don't know, September 20th and October 20th.
I started paying attention on Labor Day.
You did not. No. You did not this year. Labor Day?
I was paying attention. I wasn't watching.
Okay. How many games have you watched?
Any start to finish?
Let's say more than half.
Not many.
Any?
A couple. Yeah, a couple.
Have you watched either of the playoff games?
Yeah, I had the game on last night while I was working. The whole game.
So the only reason I watched the Yankees is because I had the Jets on at the bar. I had no reason to watch the Yankees. Giancarlo Stanton, $30 million for playoff baseball because he does nothing good.
That's what he does.
That's all he needs, right? He's like Dusty Rhodes.
Yes. Did you say he's like the American dream?
No, 1954 Dusty Rhodes.
Oh. Nice. Good. For those of you who are not familiar with the 1954 New York Giants, yes, the baseball team, not the football team. Dusty Rhodes.
In the 1954 World Series,
3 pinch hit home runs in the World Series against the White Sox.
Yep.
No, the Cleveland Indians. I'm sorry. Is it the Indians? 54. Because that was it was 54. It was a Willie Mays catch. It was against Vic Wertz.
So he hit 3. So during the year, he actually hit 3. No, it's Mays. Sorry. So he was a pinch hitter throughout the entire year. He hit 423 as a pinch hitter, which is insane. And during the World Series, he just kept hitting and hitting and hitting. And wait. So in the 10th inning with the score tied 2-2, he came up and hit a pinch hit home run. The next day, he hit a pinch hit home run. The following day, he hit a pinch. He just kept hitting pinch hit home runs. And it's hard enough to hit it once. He was the hero of the 54 World Series, which obviously is why the Guardians, a.k.a. the Indians, or formerly known FKA, the Indians, have not won a World Series since 1948. It does not look like they will win one again this year.
No, winning 4 out. I thought if they won one of the two in New York, they had a really, really good chance to win the series.
Yeah,
I don't think they're winning 4 out of 5.
I don't think they're winning a game the way that they were the way that they've been playing.
They had some,
They have been awful. I mean, even Guardian
the
fans.
defense has let them down.
Yeah, pitching and defense have completely let them down. Look, I was a believer. I booked my hotel room for Cleveland because if the Mets played Cleveland, I had that all scoped out. I do not want to see a Subway Series. Unlike every other New Yorker, I do not want to see it. I have no desire to see it. I have no desire to go to it. No. Mets fans are really nice people. Yankee fans, I'm certainly not going to Yankee Stadium. There's no chance of that. And I'm not paying the freight to go to Citi Field to go see a baseball game because the freight will be $1,000. Easy. I was hoping that if they played the Guardians and I went to Progressive Field, yes, it's called Progressive. It is not a progressive field, and it is certainly not in a progressive state, but it is called Progressive Field.
Hey, it's the home of JDV, baby.
JD Vance. As I said, not a progressive state. I love all you Ohio people, but seriously, not there. But I might be able to get tickets for like $350, $400, and I'd go.
Yeah,
but I don't think you're seeing those prices in New York for a World
you're not.
Series.
Regardless of any, you're not.
So unless
who would you root for in the Yankees-Dodgers series?
Unless Seth, wait, I have to put this plug in. Unless Seth has a very nice client that would like to get us a box, in which I would certainly come up for the series. I just want to throw that in his brain, just in case he has any said clients that have boxes. I am happy to come up and watch a game.
Good to know.
Okay, great. Yankees, Dodgers. I would never root for the Yankees, not in a million years. So I would for the.
I guess that's the difference between you and me.
Right, because I'm the younger brother.
Yes.
I am in every sport. I am the younger brother. I am the Maryland to you, Duke. You couldn't give a rat's ass about my team, but I think
No. In 2015, did I genuinely root for your team?
you did. But what I'm saying is, you couldn't care less if we won, and I do care if you win. I have no desire
care a lot
for
more
you
than
to
I
win.
do.
No, I have little brother tendency where it is I don't want my big brother ever to win. And in a sports town where I am the little brother in every sport except for the NBA, and the NBA there really isn't a little brother. Brooklyn is not the little brother to the Knicks. They are just not an entity in New York.
No.
I feel like I can't root for the Yankees. I am the Skankies, as I like to call them. They are
Classy.
Yeah, well, I stay classy, San Diego. I mean, at the end of the day, I cannot root for I do root for the Giants. Surprisingly, I root for the Giants. I don't.
Was that in part because they beat the Patriots twice?
Well, that made me cry. So yes, but I don't really see that as a rivalry. The Jets and Giants have never been good at the same time.
No. Well, in 1986 they were until you lost your last 5 games.
Well, again, we've never been good at the same time.
Well, let's be fair. What have the Jets been good?
To be fair, we have won a more recent champion. We have gone to a more recent championship game than you have.
That is true.
We've gone to two.
We have been to 5 more recent Super Bowls than you have.
Well, yes, because we haven't been to a Super Bowl since I've been alive. So yes,
since you've been alive, since before my parents met.
Yeah, it's
been
that.
Alive.
And the funny thing is, people wonder why I travel to go see my teams. Because I don't have the opportunity to go travel to see them win. I just need them to travel to see them play. And UNLV was amazing.
I just assume you travel because you don't like where you live.
Well, that's true too, but that's a different story. But the weather, it was 70 degrees here today. I'm not wearing long sleeves. I'm wearing shorts and flip-flops, not you.
You're in your apartment. You were always wearing shorts and flip-flops.
No, I walked to Target in shorts and flip-flops today. I was good to go. It was set 65 right now. Hold on. It is 62. High of 65 at 5 o'clock. But anyway, we digress. Okay.
For a change.
Okay. So you picking the Mets or you picking the Dodgers?
You know what?
I can't make a selection in this because it doesn't matter.
The Dodgers just seem to always shoot themselves somewhere.
Yep.
The Mets are on that kind of weird roll. I'll take the Mets in 6.
And the funny thing is, well, they better win in 6 because I don't see them winning in 7.
I don't either.
The Dodgers are just scary, right? Like the top of their lineup is just okay, Ohtani, okay, Mookie Betts, okay, Freddie Freeman. Like, where is that?
Yeah, but the players who have been the most distinctive are Kiki Hernandez and Max Muncy.
Well, it's the bottom of their lineup that has done almost absolutely nothing. But they are a team. Look,
they're the most talented team, but their pitching is just.
Well, they've gone through 25 pitchers this year.
No, I understand why. I get it.
Yeah, they don't have the pitching to settle up. Believe it or not, the Mets have the best pitching left in the foursome, which you never would have said earlier on. Although last night, Carlos Rendon
looked magnificent.
Oh, sorry, that was game 1, not
game 1. Yeah.
Game 1, he looked fantastic. That's the guy you're paying $30 million to.
I hope so.
Not what you've been getting so far. So okay, so you're picking the Mets, and I assume you're picking the Yankees. And then
at this point, yeah.
And then we're back here next week with an awful World Series preview that we both know how that's going to
work. Now, are you dreading this because if the Yankees beat the Mets, and I'm not saying they will, I don't think it's any stretch of 4 games, literally your brain would explode.
No. I'm dreading this for about 30,000 different reasons. First of all,
You're
all
just
I'm going to
happy that you're in the World Series?
no, nope.
This is why you're not allowed nice things.
No, I'm not going to be happy that I'm in the World Series for any. If we played the Royals, if we played the Guardians, if we played anybody, the goal isn't to get to the World Series. The goal is to win the World Series. Look, I had somebody on Monday night. I'm watching the Mets. I'm watching Yankees and Guardians, and I got the Jets and Bills. And he's a Jets fan and he's a Yankees fan. And he said to me with a straight face, the Yankees are due for a World Series. And I was like, are you crazy? He's like, well, we haven't won since 2009. I was like, that's 23 years after my last championship, buddy. Like, don't even go there. You're due. But it did bring up an interesting question that I posed to you. And it looks like our NBA and NHL will work into next week.
Yeah.
What teams, if you said we're due, would you laugh at? Because I wouldn't laugh at the Yankees. The Yankees have been, almost 20 years without a championship, right?
They've also been in the playoffs about 17 of those 20 years.
Correct. So what teams? So I came up with a couple, but I'm wondering what you would think. So what would you laugh at if somebody said, my team is due, and you know they are a fan of that? I think I named about 10. So I'm curious what yours were.
Okay.
Let's go in sports order. Let's go to the NBA. Well, last year, the Celtics, right? The Celtics are not due.
Yeah, they're definitely not due.
Okay.
The Golden State Warriors are definitely not due.
Okay. The Nuggets are not due.
Not due.
Okay.
Milwaukee's not due either.
Okay.
All we're doing is naming teams that have won recent championships.
But you can even go 10 years ago, and if the Celtics hadn't won last year, you would still say they weren't due. Okay? So they're not due, right? So the Knicks are probably due, right?
Yeah, they haven't been in a final since 1999.
Correct.
And they've been barely relevant, nothing personal, for the last 25 years.
Understood.
They're sure as hell relevant now.
The Bulls are not due. The Bulls haven't been in a finals.
The Spurs are not due.
But that's what I'm saying, right? The Bulls haven't been in a final since Jordan retired. But they're not due. Right? I'd laugh if you told me the Bulls were due a championship.
The Heat are not due.
The Heat are not due. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like these types of teams. All right. The NHL, I came up with the Penguins.
That was my first thing on the Penguins.
The Devils are not due. The Bruins are not due.
Oh, wait a minute. The Devils haven't won one in 20 years. So this is 2005.
Okay. The Blackhawks are not due. The Kings are not due.
No, the Islanders and Rangers are due.
No, the Rangers are never due. Let's understand. And the Rangers have made finals. So
yes.
I don't consider them
But typically,
due.
if you make, isn't that worse? So if you make,
tell me when I make a finals, whether that's where I'll ask me again.
Edmonton is due.
Yes, ask me again if the Islanders make the finals, whether I'm due, because I may just be of all the teams, they may be the one that I'd be happy with just making.
Actually, the team you'll hate this. Toronto's due.
Oh, absolutely. The same way Detroit is due for a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Right? By the way, the difference
the difference is everybody will be happy for the Lions.
True.
If they make the Super Bowl. I will guarantee you that you, as my best friend, and Mike Nirenberg, one of my closest friends, will be absolutely effing miserable if the Toronto Maple Leafs make this World Series.
Yeah.
You will be. I will not hear the end of it.
There are certain teams that will make me miserable if they win a championship. The Rangers are number one on that list. They're above Toronto, far above Toronto. The Rangers are number one.
But I don't see the Rangers. Yeah, look. I guess they still got Chester.
Yeah. It's not close. It's the
last year felt like their year. If they were going to do what it was going to be last year.
It's the Rangers. And it's funny because as an Islander fan, I treat the Devils as the little stepchild. I couldn't care less what they do.
Yeah, even knowing they've been by far the more successful franchise over the last 40 years.
Agreed. I got the Rangers, Toronto, the Yankees. No, sorry, the Patriots, the Yankees, NBA. I don't have anybody in the NBA. I root against the Celtics, but that didn't bother me last year that they won. Hockey, baseball, basketball, football. Yeah, that's about it. And everybody would be. Here's the interesting part and question, Seth. If the Lions win, everybody's happy, right?
Yes.
Everybody's ecstatic that Dan Campbell did something, right? If the Bears win, everybody's pretty much happy except if you're a Packers fan. In basically, right? If the Jets win, I think only half the Jet fans are happy.
Is that because the other half live in their basement in Staten Island? And
no, the other half
never going to be
hate
happy.
Aaron. So my younger brother.
They all just hate Aaron Rodgers so much.
Yeah, my younger brother Jay is a huge.
I call bullshit.
I'd be interested
if the Jets go to the Super Bowl. You're going to tell me that 50% of the people, the long-suffering Jets fans, are going to be like, "Oh, well, I'm glad we're there, but because Aaron Rodgers let us there, I no longer give a crap."
Maybe I'm oversimplifying it to 50.
First of all, you barely have 50 fans.
There is a segment of that population. There is.
I don't buy it.
You don't think that my brother, who is a Jets fan, will not watch the Jets. He has told me that. He will not watch the Jets because of Aaron Rodgers. He is so fed up with the crap that guy has pulled that he does not watch the team. Now, to me, it's you root for the team on the front, not the name on
Agreed.
the right? We've had that discussion.
You think I rooted for Kyrie Irving when he was on the Nets?
Nobody in their right mind roots for Jason Williams. Nobody in their right mind roots for Lawrence Taylor as Lawrence Taylor. You rooted for the Giants with Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor is a despicable human being. Despicable. There are plenty of athletes out there that are despicable human beings, but they're great athletes, so they get a pass in a lot of things, right?
Yes.
And because of that, you root for the team on the back, not root for the name on the back, not the nameplate the name on the front, not the nameplate on the back. And but I have not seen the visceral, yes, I use that word, visceral reaction to a player more than I have him ever from your own fans. I don't know of a player that splits that population as bad as he does.
Yeah. I mean,
it's because of politics, right? That splits our entire country that way. By the way, we're like 20 days away from an election, which is
I got my ballot. I'll go vote. I'll vote.
Which
tomorrow.
is scary in its own right. That we're 20 days.
Did you vote early? I know Georgia voting yesterday.
I did not vote early. I was going to vote. Yes, I was going to vote this weekend, and I realized I'm not here, so I'll probably vote the weekend of the 2nd. I'll probably go early, or I'll try and go early. I'd rather vote early than stand on that line for 2.5 hours, which is what it will be. But the fact is, maybe that's it, right? Maybe you are just at the point where athletes speak their mind more, and because of that, erroneously or not, you have that reaction. LeBron doesn't have that reaction. Michael Jordan doesn't have that reaction. And they certainly have their own opinions. I've never seen somebody split a fan base the way this guy does, ever. And maybe it doesn't split it evenly. Maybe it's not 50-50. But it certainly has detracted from numerous fans. And every time that man speaks, I don't want to hear a damn word. I'm not sure you caught him on Pat McAfee yesterday.
I didn't. Okay. I heard. I know Davonte ended up on it for a little.
Right. Bit. So basically, he's on the show.
I don't watch McAfee.
Neither do I. I saw this on a clip. McAfee's talking to him, and Aaron Rodgers goes like this. And McAfee goes, "Who you got behind you?" And all of a sudden, you know that Aaron Rodgers smile that I call it the Jake Gyllenhaal smile because
it's the shit-eating grin.
Shit-eating grin that he puts on that completely disturbs me. And all of a sudden, Davonte is back there. And I'm kind of like, this guy just this guy's going to ruin my franchise. If he hasn't already, he's going to ruin my franchise.
Okay, hold on.
What? Because Rich Kotite didn't ruin my franchise. I get
You
it.
haven't been to a Super Bowl in 50 years.
True.
You haven't been relevant really in 5 or 6. I mean,
Actually, it's almost 60 years.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's almost 60
Is that
years.
where you want to go with this? I mean, what are you talking about? 60, yeah, I guess it's 56 years.
It's almost that math.
Your team, it's not like you were the Patriots and you got rid of Brady and you fell apart. And this is the reason. You have been irrelevant or peripherally relevant for years.
Yeah.
Nobody has looked at your team in the last 5 years and said you're better than Kansas City.
No, of course
You're
not.
better than Cincinnati. You're better than San Diego.
Wait, do you think anybody's saying that now?
No.
Okay, so what's the difference?
No, but the problem. But I find it funny that this is the ruin of your franchise. Woody Johnson is the ruin of your franchise.
Okay, so here's the thing, and maybe this is just me, right? And you make this claim. I know that Blackhawk fans have made this claim numerous times. You can root for a franchise that is bad.
Yes.
People do it all the time, right?
We do.
People do it all the time. I have done this.
Are the Giants a good franchise right now?
No, but what I'm saying is, let me finish. You can root for a bad franchise. I've rooted for the Islanders for years when they were bad, right? But it is rare, and there was a time with the Islanders too, where I have been embarrassed by a franchise. And that is a big difference to me. And acquiescing to everything that Aaron Rodgers wants to do and seeing this guy basically come away scot-free from everything that's happened is embarrassing. It's not that they're bad. It's not that they're good. You are embarrassing my franchise. When the first thing that people see when I wear a Jets jersey is not the player on the back, but how do you feel about Aaron Rodgers?
You mean kind of like how I felt about the Nets?
No. Why? Why would you have felt that way about the Nets?
You don't think
Are you talking about Jason Williams?
No.
Then what are you talking about?
Kyrie.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, believe it or not, I forgot about the whole Kyrie thing.
The acquiescence to whatever Durant wanted.
No, that I don't, because
the difference is Durant handled it for the most part in a classy way. So
that's right.
I don't like players dictating GM work particularly because I don't think they're particularly great at it.
Correct.
But the Kyrie,
Kyrie thing I get. No. Kyrie, I totally get. I totally am with you on that. But Durant, I don't. Harden, I don't. Kyrie, I do.
Well, I didn't. What were my feelings on the Harden? I just hated. What I didn't like was they dictated the Harden deal.
I get it, but that's not an embarrassment. That's just they did something
terrible trade. It was a stupid move that never should have been done.
Okay, but once it's done, you're no longer fully
Durant
embarrassed.
at no point embarrassed me as a fan.
Kyrie embarrassed you.
Yes,
I get it. I totally forgot about the Kyrie thing. That makes sense, right? The John Spano thing with the Islanders embarrassed me. Right? George Steinbrenner with Spiro.
With Dave Winfield and Spiro.
Yeah, that embarrassed you, right? Yeah. David Cohn.
I was 15 years old, so I mean, it didn't because I was 15 years old.
Right, but David Cohn exposing himself in the bullpen for the Mets is an embarrassment. Like these things
I didn't even know that happened.
Kirby Puckett, right? Everything that came out about Kirby Puckett, that's an embarrassment to a franchise.
That happened after the fact.
No, I get it. I get it. But we
knew about it after the fact.
This is what I'm getting at, right? Where you are the malice in the palace. Let's just throw that out there, right? For any Pacer fan or even any Detroit fan, were you embarrassed by that? I would think you would have to be.
I would think so.
Right? So, and anybody that employs Rasheed Wallace is probably embarrassed by him.
Well, not anymore, but yeah.
But that's the difference with the Jets now. It's not, Seth, a hey, it's Aaron Rodgers and this
No,
team
I
is
get it.
awful.
It's somehow a 40-year-old guy coming off a torn ACL is dictating the policies of a team, having done nothing to earn it.
And he
other than
smiles about it.
Yeah.
And it's not and much like you and Kyrie, it's not just sports. That's the thing. Look, I understand the concept of take your ball and dribble. I understand why that is a problem. I do. 100%. You are entitled to whatever you want to say. You being LeBron James, you being Aaron Rodgers, you can do it. I don't have to like it. And I don't have to be supportive of a team that does that. And that's where I come down with
No,
him.
it's the Harrison Butker comments.
Yeah, 100%. There you go. 100%.
He's
If
allowed to say it, and I'm allowed to think he's a douchebag for saying so.
Yeah, but I'm still allowed to employ him as my fantasy kicker on one team. By the way, I don't have him on any team.
We're all whores at the end of the day. When
he is not the best mother tucker around. He is just not.
So, it's probably time for our Justin Tucker run.
Hey, Justin Tucker had 10 points last week. And believe it or not, we went almost 58 minutes without talking about fantasy football for the first time in I don't know.
I went 1-4 this week and 4-1 the week before.
All right.
You have an 0-6 team for the first time in your history, and I have a 1-5 team for the worst time, and I think the first time in my history.
Yeah, it really sucks. All right. Next week we will talk NBA and NHL since we can get to that.
And probably the Subway Series just to piss off Sean, because only he would be angry about his team making the World Series.
For Seth Kamens, I'm Sean Palmer, Seth and Sean Sports. We'll talk to you guys next week.